Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria and this is Glow Creations. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you have been here before, you know these channels, it's all about events, specifically event decor. So in my videos, I will usually take you behind the scene to see what goes behind the scene, when it comes to event decor. So if you do like events, if you are curious about what it is that we do as event decorator, this is your channel. But don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and let's go. So in this week, there's going to be 2 events. So this video will be about the first event that I had this week. So this setup is going to be quick and sweet. So I am doing the stage decor for a bridal party. So I think most of my previous videos, the bridal stage decor that I've done in most of my previous videos is has usually been about the bride and the groom seating, or the bride and the groom, the maid of honor, and the best man. But this time we're doing a stage setup for the entire bridal party to sit on it. So we've been booked to only do the stage decor, which I do a lot of those. So I'm going to take you behind the scene. There wasn't a lot of behind the scene as far as prep for this setup, because it's a smaller setup, and then most of the things that we'll be using were already made, already ready to go. But I will still show you some behind the scene, and then I did a video when we were doing the setup, so that you can see where we started, how we're doing the setup, and the end result. So this is going to be a beautiful setup as always. This was a wedding. This was a South Sudanese / American wedding. So congrats Nancy and Cody, and it was my pleasure doing your events. But yeah, let's go behind the scene. But first, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment about where you are watching the video from. I am in Kansas City. I also have my business in Omaha, Nebraska. So let me know when you're watching the video from. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and also leave me a comment about what you like about this setup. What I like was that in the setup, so we were gonna cover the stage in white, and the stage at the venue is it's carpeted. So I have to find a way to make it white and gold. So you're gonna see how I pull that out. I love this. So this was my first time doing it that way, so it was fun to do. So that was my favorite things, because it was my first time doing it, and I like how it came out. But let me know what is your favorite thing about this setup. So let's go behind the scene. Welcome to behind the scene. So here I am filling up some vases with candles that will be used, and I got these planks or panel from Home Depot that I'm going to use to cover the steps. I covered some of the lines in gold and left the middle in white here. So there wasn't a lot of prepping, because a lot of the stuff we'll be using were already ready from your previous events, and it wasn't a big setup, only the stage. So we are heading to the venue in Lincoln, Nebraska, that is called the Scottish Rite Masonic Center. So we are unloading here into the smallest elevator, which was it kept closing and opening. So unloading took quite a bit of time than normal because of this, but we were not doing the entire setup, so this didn't hurt much. So it was two of us doing the setup. You will also see some gentlemen doing the floor wrap on the side. So we were all working as a team, but our team is only doing the stage, decor. So we are gonna wrap the stage, we're gonna cover the steps and do our setups. So I'm dealing with the steps at first, so I'm adding the steps and quickly noticed that the dimensions were a little bit off. Since this was a super small setup, I wasn't able to make a trip, prior to come and measure the stage myself. I worked at this venue before, but I didn't get to cover the steps, and it was all the way back in 2019. But my client sent me some measurement, which was fine, which was actually accurate, but we didn't take in consideration the angles, in front. So that made the front planks a little bit shorter than what I would have liked. So, and then the middle part of the steps, I added our dance floor, so our wooden dance floor pieces. So we have some pieces that connect to make a dance floor. So I brought a few of those that I used for the middle. It would have been easy to just add vinyl or like a cloth to these steps, but I want the clean, crispy, the clean, crisp, glossy look. So it's gonna take some work, but it's all worth it, trust me. So here I'm trying to find a solution for the extra space that's left in front. At first I was trying to wrap it, but again, it's carpet, so it wasn't getting smooth. It was like 2 or 3 inch of space left because of the angle. Anyway, I don't know how to explain, but the spaces were, the measurement were a little bit off. So at first I was trying to wrap the extra, but it wasn't smooth because it is not a hard surface. And then I decided to pivot. And what am I doing? I'm adding some roses in between to fill up the gap. So I'm adding single roses to fill up the gap. And then while I'm doing that, my staff was doing did the draping. Of course, we wrapped the stage, we did the drape, and we are also setting up the backdrop. The poles that were there were a little bit high, so we had to replace it with some of the one in the back. And then now we are setting up the backdrop, this white and gold backdrop that we had ready made to go. So we're setting up the backdrop, and then I'm gonna come back and finish adding up the single roses to the front of the stage, and then do the table decor and add chairs to the stage. And also we are adding a couple arches to the side. So this is the final setup. As you can see, this was before the candle was lit, and this is after the candle were lit. We had the bride and the groom chairs in, and the bridal party as well. So the stage had 11 people sitting on it, and this is the final look for the steps. The DJ kind of messed it up a little bit for me because of the cord, so he had to run some cord over. I wish I had some white tape for us to put on it to hide it, but it worked. So final setup, this is the florals, this is the steps, and notice the roses that I added to fill up the gap that I wasn't able to close. So, and of course the DJ messed it up with the cable, but
it still looks it still look good. So these was the various flowers. Final look. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Bye bye.